The Dallas Cowboys are a better team than they were a season ago, and that's important. However, after struggling a bit last season, despite Dak Prescott going down, it's tough to see a scenario where the Cowboys are true Super Bowl contenders. Perhaps they have a good enough roster to compete in the loaded NFC, and if things go well, anything is possible, but the Cowboys aren't exactly the favorites to win it all, and everybody seems to understand that. If there's one area the team needs to improve, it's at the running back position. The Cowboys' running back room is one of the more below average in the NFL, and that's a problem. Even with an improved offense around the below-average running back room, the Cowboys might find a lack of success because of their inability to run the football at a high level. That's why in a trade idea from Bleacher Report, they'd land Najee Harris, who recently signed a one-year, $5.25 million deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. Harris is coming off a season in which he rushed for 1,043 yards and 6 touchdowns for the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he spent the first 4 years of his career. Teams in need of running back help would at least be wise to call about Harris's availability. While he was never a high-level starter with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was a dependable high-volume back who topped 1,000 rushing yards in all 4 campaigns. Dallas should consider adding Harris as a high-floor option in its backfield. The Steelers may actually want to consider bringing back the 27-year-old now they have their quarterback in Rodgers, BR wrote. Are the Cowboys in a position to make a trade? Despite the question marks about the Dallas Cowboys running back room, it was reported by Athlon Sports that the team doesn't believe they have to make a trade at the position. According to Athlon, the Cowboys are content with what they have, and any trade at this point doesn't make sense from their perspective. The Cowboys feel set at running back and likely won't even contemplate a move at any position until they see the lay of the land with what they have. It is Sanders and Williams. And any proposed move for another back right now simply doesn't make any sense, at least from a Dallas perspective, Adam Schultz wrote. Are the Cowboys set at running back already? Heading into training camp, despite reports from Athlon that the Dallas Cowboys aren't interested in adding another running back, the position remains uncertain. According to Cowboys Wire's Mike Crum, the Cowboys running back situation will be the top position group to watch in training camp, adding that there isn't much financial commitment on the position. Dallas Cowboys training camp is going to be filled with battles for the last spots at multiple positions, but running back could be the toughest of all to figure out. The Cowboys have turned over almost all of the players at the position from last season, starting fresh with a mix of different options. The Cowboys haven't invested much in the position financially, around $8 million, which means there isn't much holding them back from an open competition. In years past, money has played a role in who saw snaps, but that won't likely be the case in 2025, he wrote. Regardless of whether the Cowboys add a player like Harris or not remains to be seen, but there are plenty of question marks at running back heading into the year. Is it possible to go back in time to when Michael Gallup was one of the most dynamic playmakers in football? Gallup's highlight montage is right up there with the best receivers in the NFL, but injuries sadly derailed his career and forced him into an early retirement after the 2023 season. Gallup has since unretired and reunited with Dan Quinn on the rival Commanders. It was a dart-throw signing by Washington, but they need the depth at WR, especially with star Terry McLaurin holding out amid a contract standoff and old friend Noah Brown suffering an injury scare in OTAs. Unfortunately, history has reared its ugly head with Gallup, who was sidelined in minicamp with a reported hamstring strain. Former Cowboys star Michael Gallup already dealing with injury on Commanders. Say what you will about Gallup suiting up for the enemy, but this is a devastating development for the former Cowboy. It would be an awesome story if Gallup turned back the clock and carved out a role in Washington's offense. Unfortunately, injuries have been the story of Gallup's career starting in 2021. The former third-round gem suffered a calf strain in Week 1 of that season. He was placed on injured reserve and missed 7 games. Fast forward to Week 17, and Gallup suffered a torn ACL while making a touchdown grab against the Cardinals. He was never the same player after that. He missed a chunk of the 2022 season and was limited upon returning. Cowboys fans didn't hold Gallup's lackluster 2022 against him, but 2023 was a different story since he was 2 years removed from the injury at that point. He struggled to create separation and ranked 67th out of 77 qualified receivers with 1.08 yards per route run per PFF, subscription required. He also caught just 7 of 20 contested catch targets, which is a shocking decline for a player that caught around 50% of his contested targets in his prime. Perhaps the biggest indictment of Gallup's decline was Dak Prescott's inefficiency when targeting the Colorado State product. From 2019 to 2021, Gallup had a 101.2 passer rating when targeted, per PFF. That number plummeted to 73.9 spanning the 2022 and 23 seasons. That ultimately led to his release in March of 2024 and his eventual retirement. It feels like ages ago that Gallup announced himself as one of the best complementary wide receivers with 1,107 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns as a second-year player in 2019. The hamstring strain won't help Gallup's odds of making the 53-man roster, but it's not like Washington is flush with receiving depth and he is clearly tight with Quinn. Hopefully this is just a minor setback in Gallup's comeback quest. The Dallas Cowboys running back room is one of the most talked about positions on the roster, with many not sold on Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and Jaden Blue as the top 3. Some want more. And some want the Cowboys to trade for a running back. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox wants Dallas to call the Jacksonville Jaguars and trade for Travis Etienne. And another outlet is reporting that Dallas is eyeing a trade for the back being labeled elite by some. The Dallas Cowboys should already be calling about Etienne's availability, Knox writes. They currently have a backfield headlined by Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, 2 big question marks, given their recent production, and have shown a willingness to trade for talent post-draft. After back-to-back seasons of 1,000 plus rushing yards to begin his NFL career, Etienne hit a brick wall last year, posting just 558 yards and 2 touchdowns from 15 games. Etienne played second fiddle to Tank Bigsby last season, which likely led to his decrease in production, along with injury. But we ask this. Why would the Cowboys trade for Etienne and part with draft picks and potentially have to sign him next season? Dallas has already done that with George Pickens. Plus, we haven't seen Sanders or Williams in pads in this Cowboys offense yet, so there is no need to add another running back to an already crowded room. Also, why would Dallas want to pick up the phone urgently for a player another team sees as disposable? Athlon Sports' Mike Fisher has the answer as a team source makes perfectly clear that rumors about Dallas pursuing a running back trade at this time are false. The Cowboys feel set at running back and likely won't even contemplate a move at any position until they see the lay of the land with what they have. It is Sanders and Williams. And any proposed move for another back right now simply doesn't make any sense, at least from a Dallas perspective.